20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100% reason to remember the name.
What is up, YouTube? This is SinDragonLord here, bringing you a PO battle between me and the chaotic Espeon, otherwise known as my friend Nathan, who is also the top player on the Reborn server on the PO. So if you guys are ever on the Reborn server, be sure to look out for Chaotic Espeon, because, yeah, you'll be in for the match of your life. I will also be posting a link to his YouTube channel in the description below. So yeah, let's get right into this match, shall we? First thing I should mention here is that this is a double header. It is a best 2 out of 3 falls. So this is round 1. So he starts off with this Conkeldurr, and I predict the switch, so I go ahead and set up my Swords Dance because I don't want to spore into that Espeon, because that'll just be a bad day for me. But he goes straight for the side shock and takes me out straight away. So I go into my Hydreigon Cerebrus, and I go for the Dark Pulse. But he switches back into Conkeldurr. I'm like, so far not so good. So I call back Cerebrus and I go into my Brionac the Gyarados. He sets up a Bulk Up, and right about here, I go for the Bounce. Because I don't want to be taking a Stone Edge from a plus 1.5 Conkeldurr. So he switches and goes into a Suicune. And I go for the Bounce. I get the crit, brings it down to a nice sizable chunk. And I just go straight for the Earthquake, and there goes the Suicune. A nice bulky competitor out of the way, straight off. That's amazing. I was happy about that. Next is his Chandelure, and he goes for the Shadow Ball. It takes about half, but the Waterfall, Chandelure isn't going to live. So now I'm at plus 2 attack, or times 2 attack. And so I go for the Bounce again, because I don't want to take any hits from this D-Knight at this point. This is a Sash to Gyarados, and I know that the Sash really doesn't matter at this point. So I go for the Bounce, and it does a lot more than I thought it would, considering that it's a multi-scale set. But it still does a sizable chunk. But he destroys me. I go out into my Sexy Bitch, and I know at this point I can live and Outrage. And all I gotta do now is go for the HP Ice, and that Dragonite is going to be, well, Sexy Bitch's bitch. So Dragonite goes down, and now it is 4-3. I don't want to be taking any hits from that, so I'm going to go straight into my Gengar. But he goes for the Bulk Up. So I just decide, you know what? He's probably going to kill me with a Stone Edge, so I'm just going to get as much HP off as possible. So, but then he goes for the Stone Edge, just like I predicted, and it killed me off straight away. But now he's in a range where my Alakazam can basically rape him anally. So I go for the Side Shock, and down goes the Conkeldurr. And then he brings out the Tangrowth, and I know I have HP Fire on this, but I decide, you know what, I'm going to let Cerebrus get an Expert Belt boosted Flamethrower off, and I think that should be enough to basically wipe the floor with this thing. And sure enough, the Expert Belt is enough to basically say goodbye to the Tangrowth, and all he's got left now is his Espeon. So I go for the Dark Pulse, doesn't quite kill, and yeah, so he gets his Lefty's recovery, and he gets his Leech Seed recovery. But another Dark Pulse will be enough to do it. And guys, and now we are going to be moving on to part 2. So this is round 2. Let's get this started. So pretty much the same leads, Conkeldurr and Shrooms, but this time he decides not to switch. So I get my Swords Dance up. And then he goes for the Drain Punch, then kills me off the Mach Punch. I'm like, wow, this is just not Shroom's day today. Shroom is just not having a good day. So I go into Brionac again, and I know he's going to switch. So I'm going to set up a D-Dance, and I know the Suicune can't do anything to really hurt me, so I go for a second D-Dance. And just like I predicted, he goes for the Ice Beam. Doesn't really do a whole lot, so I go ahead and I start bouncing. You know, because bouncing is fun. But the bounce misses. I'm like, wow. This isn't going to be a very good battle in my favor, is it? I mean, the hacks are not in my favor right now. So I go for Bounce again just to avoid the Ice Beam, and I get the Parahacks. I'm like, okay, that's fair. I mean, I missed the Bounce, and he gets the Parahacks. That's fair. So now I believe I go for the EQ here. Yes, I do. I go for the EQ, and that'll take out the Suicune again. Moxie Boost, now I'm at 2.5 times. And then I go for the Waterfall. I don't know, not really sure why he went into Chandelure. As you can see, it was probably a mistake due to the oops and LOL. So now I'm at plus times 3 attack. So I go for the Bounce, knowing he's going to try to go for Outrage or D-Dance. Either way, doesn't matter. And look at that, guys. Times 3 still does over half to multi-scale that halves the damage that it has from full HP. That is amazing. So now I know that with no speed boost, I can outspeed it because I'm at max speed, max special. So I go for the HP Ice and take it out straight away. So I switch and he goes for the bulk up, and this seems all too familiar to me. So I go straight for the Shadow Ball, and he goes for the Stone Edge and he misses. I'm like, oh my god, maybe this won't be a repeat of last time. So I'll go for another Shadow Ball, and that will be enough to take it out. So down goes the Conkeldurr, and he sends out his Espeon again. I'm thinking, what? Okay. Shows Shadow Ball, and then he goes for the Calm Mind. I'm like, why didn't you go for the Psyshock? You would have had me. I have no special defense investment in this Gengar. This is a Scarf set. You would have had me. But oh well. I guess he must have. I don't know what he was. What his game plan was. I'm sure he had something in mind. But either way, the Espeon goes down, and he goes for the EQ. Maybe that was a misclick. I'm guessing it was a misclick. Either that or he had nothing else to really hit me with, and he knew it was game over anyway. So yeah, guys, that will be the game. And once again, that was me versing Chaoticespeon. I will also be posting his YouTube channel in the description below. Guys, this is SinDragonLord, and I'm signing out. Peace out, guys.